Hello, hello, explorers. Today is, what's today?
12th.
The 12th. But this is what you're doing for
Oh.
May 13th. Duh, that says 13, today's 12. So I am back in my driveway, which means we have a special guest with us again today.
Hi, everybody.
Mr. Curry's back here. We're gonna do our review. So today, Wednesday, you're doing a 4-question review for your quiz on Thursday. As I told some of you, this is your last quiz for the year, okay? This is it. So 60% of your grade. So you gotta make sure that you are watching the videos and you are really taking your time. We're only putting 4 questions on there so that we can give you ample feedback. So make sure you're checking it. And remember, you're always allowed to check your work on a calculator before you hit submit. So your review sheet is gonna be 2 multiplying fractions problems and 2 dividing fractions. So we're going to do a quick review for you of multiplying fractions. So, some of you need to remember that when you have this whole number, you are sticking a 1 underneath of it, okay? Not a 4, because that's a 4, it's a 1. The 1 goes underneath of it. So the 3 becomes 3 over 1 times. Now you're gonna work your way up and around. So you multiply and then you add. So 4 times 2 is 8 plus 3 is 11. So my top is an 11 and the denominator stays the same. Some of you were changing these to a 4, or not to a 4, to a 1. It stays the same. You have to keep it a 4, okay? Now you're gonna multiply your tops. 3 times 11 is 33. 1 times 4 is 4. Okay, improper fraction. It's not simplified. Mr. Curry and I are okay with that. You can leave this as your answer. In fact, some of you would be smarter to leave it as your answer because when you are simplifying incorrectly. So we are just looking that you are able to work your way up and around. You're able to put that 1, you're able to multiply. And if you can give us 33 over 4, you will get perfect credit. Okay, so there's one example. Mr. Curry's got example number 2.
All right, again, mixed number, fraction, multiplying. I always look at my sign first, my operation symbol. I know I'm multiplying, therefore I have to work up and around going clockwise. 3 times 2 is 6, 6 plus 2 is 8, and then at the bottom I'm rewriting 8/3. My denominator stays the same, and then I'm just bringing down 1/4. Now we don't need common denominators when multiplying fractions, which makes it super easy for us. Multiply across the numerators. 8 times 1 is going to give us 8, and then 3 times 4 is going to give us 12. Now we can simplify it, however at this point do not worry about it. We're going to leave it as 8/12, so we're going to circle our final answer, and that's what it should be. Mrs. Cosgriff is going to give another example, and we'll keep going just to help you and make sure you're prepared for Thursday.
All right, next example, 5½ times 1 1/5. Now I have to work my way up and around for both of them, okay? So 2 times 5 is 10, plus 1 is 11. Denominator stays the same. 5 times 1 plus 1, we end up with 6 over 5, okay? As Mr. Curry just said, do not find a common denominator. It's extra work that you should not be doing for multiplying. 11 times 6 is 66. 2 times 5 is 10. Improper fraction, do not worry about it. Just leave it alone and don't worry about simplifying it. Mr. Curry.
All right, here I have 2 mixed numbers, and again I'm multiplying, so working my way up and around. First step is to multiply. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is going to give me 3. My denominator stays the same. And then bringing down my multiplication symbol, 4 times 2 is 8, plus 2 is 10, and then I have 10 over 4. 10 times 3 is going to give me 30 over 4 times 2 is going to give me 8, and I have 30 over 8, and that's how I'm going to leave it. Do not worry about changing that because this we know is improper. We're just going to leave it improper and then circle our final answer.
All right, dividing fractions. So the bottom two on your review sheet and your quiz are dividing fractions. So we remember we are keeping, changing, and flipping, okay? So on your stuff that you guys turned in Tuesday, some of you were messing up the 1. So if your sheet says this, take your pencil or your finger on Notability and stick a 1 under it right away. Now, don't try to do the keep, change, flip here. Come down underneath of it and say to yourself, all right, keep the first, change the sign, flip the second. So this is 5/1. I need to flip it to 1/5, multiply my tops, multiply my bottoms, and I end up with 1/45. Some of you were flipping the first and keeping the second. Some of you were putting the 1 up here. You need to make sure that you are being very careful. You stick that 1 underneath, and then you are saying over and over to yourself, keep it, change it, flip it, keep it, change it, flip it, or else you're gonna get it backwards every single time. Mr. Curry.
All right, just like Cosgrove just told you, KCF, keep, change, flip, not KFC. We'll go to KFC after this quarantine is over. But keep, change, flip for dividing fractions. First thing I'm going to do, I have a whole number. In order to make it a fraction, I'm going to put a 1 underneath it. And I don't like writing over other things that I've written. Therefore, I like to be nice and neat. And on the bottom, I'm going to rewrite it. Keep, change my sign from division to multiplication, and then flip the fraction. So instead of 1/5, it changes to 5/1. And now I just multiply across. 7 times 5 is going to give me 35. 1 times 1 is 1. 35/1 is equivalent to 35. And we have 2 more.
All right, last example for me is 6 divided by 1/7. So I have a whole number, sticking a 1 underneath of it, coming down below and saying to myself, all right, I'm going to keep it, I'm going to change it and flip it. So I'm going to keep 6/1, change, and flip. So this is going to become 7/1. 6 times 7 is 42. 1 times 1 is 1. And we end up with 42. Now, some of you do not like the fact 6 times 7, and you give me the wrong answer. You're going to lose points. You can look it up and do on your calculator 6 times 7, and make sure you put the right number there. Don't get 6 times 7 wrong if that's what it is. If you're struggling with your facts, try it on the calculator and make sure that you get the right answer. All right, last one to Mr. Curry.
All right, again, K stands for keep, C, change, F, flip. We're going to keep it. Again, I'm rewriting it so I'm nice and neat. 1/3 times, because we're changing the sign. And then in order to make 6 into a fraction, pop a 1 underneath it. Now we're going to flip it. 1 times 1 is 1. 6 times 3 is 18. So we get 1/18. That should be your final answer. Okay, don't forget, keep, change, flip. Take your time. If you need help, rewatch the video. If you still require support, email us, contact us. We're here to help you all the way through this distance learning.
All right, so that's it, guys. That was, I don't know how long the video was. How long is the video?
8:30.
All right, so 8 minutes, 30 seconds. That's not bad. All right, take your time and watch this, because this is going to be the video that we refer you back to on Thursday when you're taking the quiz. I'm going to tell you, go back and watch the review that Mr. Curry and I did, so that way you have your review for the quiz. All right, again, I cannot say it enough. It is the last quiz of the school year, okay? Some of you, and I know this, are asking, what are we doing on June 1st? My answer to you is, I don't know. You're turning your iPad in, and none of the teachers have been told what we're doing yet as of that point. So as soon as we know, you will know, but this is your last quiz for the year. You still have classwork that you're gonna have to do every day, but make this one count, and reach out to us if you need help, all right? You good? Good. All good. All right, bye guys.